That's what the Punch reports. From fuel costs, which is reported to be sold at 780 naira right now. Vanguard actually reports that marketers are loading fuel at 780 naira per liter. So if they are loading it at that price, then how much are they going to sell it? And that is what has contributed to the prolonged fuel scarcity that many Nigerians are experiencing. It has worsened right now, according to reports in Lagos, in Ogun State, and in other parts of the nation. And independent marketers are said to have started lifting the product from private depots at 780 naira per liter from 595 naira per liter, indicating an increase of about 31%. So what does that say to you? Means that there might still be further jacking up of the price and stuff like that. And I guess that's the reason, it's being reported that people are just going down under the price yoke as it is. Right. And the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariola, has retired. Justice Kudirat was also recommended for appointment by the NJC in the last, meeting that they had. So who knows? She might just be emerging because the current CJ's time and tenure is up and he has to take a bow. And it remains to be seen. But nevertheless, most of the time, except of course there's any petition or there is some strong objection, we might just be having the announcement of a CJ pretty soon. Okay, so back to the issue this afternoon. I wanted us to look at the issue of the middle class. Yesterday we were talking about, the gradually phasing out of our smaller denomination. In fact, right now as it is, the coins are no longer in existence, because if you have seen a coin in the last 1 year, please call me and tell me about it. And if you've used it, then let me also know, except you have a Nigeria separate from the one we live in. Basically, coins are of no use right now in the country. And so it is that the smaller denominations, starting from 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, and the likes of them, are slowly ebbing out of circulation and of use. Their needfulness seems to be outweighed by the heavy prices of things, so that right now you're paying for things in the 500 zone. What was prior to now obtainable for maybe let's say $100, you can pay $50 in some instances. Right now, you cannot get that at less than 500, from 500 and above. So are we actually getting to that zone where in Nigeria we will be risking that, all those other smaller denominations will no longer be of any use to us? And it tells you of how bad the economy, is going. Yesterday, I was looking at studying up on some stuff and looking at the inflation rate in South Africa, and I was shocked, from 5.1 or thereabout, 5.1, the inflation rate has dropped to 4.9 or 4 I'm not too sure, but I mean in a single digit, and at that level 4 point something. My God, I can't even remember the time that our inflation was less than 2 digits, and if even it used to be in the 1 digit, then how long ago was inflation as little as 4% in Nigeria? Okay, I don't want to stir up any conversation based on that, but then looking at it, there's a way that the economy can manage in such a way that things can become affordable, that our currencies do not have to be, phased out or just go into extinction, all because we are unable to manage inflation rate. And so it gets to that point where it's either 1,500 or nothing else. We need to have a situation where we have an economy where we can spend our smaller denomination, where people and our money is still valuable at that level. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that brings me to the question of the middle class in Nigeria. The middle class is often a symbol to any nation that at least you're not doing so bad, right? When you see a country that has a very viral middle class, it tells you that there's something right about that economy. At least you don't have so many people under the poverty, the poverty level as we have. I'm not so sure of the current figures, but I'm just trying to work on that to get them, and look at what the current poverty rate is in the country right now. But, looking at the topic of the middle class, what can you say about the middle class in Nigeria? I mean, can you still confidently, with your full chest, say that we have a middle class in the country? The last I was looking at it, he said that about 23% of Nigerian population is the middle class. 23%. And as much as that is not a pass mark, but I don't know, even in reality, you can say we have a middle class in Nigeria. Okay, so I mean, when you talk about middle class, of course, you're talking about of people who are able to get by, who have basic things like you're able to afford house rent, you have a job, you have a good paying income, you're able to at least send your children to school, and you're able to pay school fees, maybe not in the high bougie schools, but at least schools that are good enough to take your children through some meaningful sort of education. You're able to put food on the table at least 3 times a day. You're able to have a car that you're able to fuel and go back and forth, and you don't have so much problem. You don't struggle to eat. You don't have 001. You don't just take Gary and go to sleep, or chop and clean mouth, or drink water. And, that's poverty at every level, or looking at it. But if you talk about the middle class, it is that critical mass that forms the glue that keeps modern liberal democracies and societies from falling apart. And that's why I said that if you go to any country and you see that they have a viral and a large chunk of middle class, it tells you that there's something right. Okay, because it's from there that you keep harnessing and it keeps growing and growing. Actually, the term defies a social class whose education tastes, consumption patterns, and activities also drives the economy. And the indices of a middle class, living are measures of a nation's economic health. So if you have a good chunk of middle class, then you can, to a great extent, say that the economy is doing well. But looking at Nigeria of today, the current Nigeria that we're in, okay, I don't have any numbers here, but I just want to throw this out as a topic of debate for us to talk about with your own, analysis of the situation, how you have assessed the situation, based on what you know, based on your own, economic condition, to say or to ask, does Nigeria still have a middle class? Because in extreme situation, you find the rich, a very maybe small amount of the population, and then you also have a very large or a much larger chunk of the population in poverty, beneath the poverty line, earning less than $1 or so, when it comes to their income. So looking at it from that perspective, would you say Nigeria has a middle class? Do we still have a middle class in Nigeria? That's my question to you. Okay, so give me your own analysis of the situation. Give me your own, thoughts on that. Why do you think we still have a middle class if you choose to, pitch your tent with the thought and maybe the reality based on what you've seen, based on what you know? Would you say we have a middle class in Nigeria still existent at a time like this, looking at the economic situation and where we are currently in this country? Or would you say that the economic weight has been so much that it has phased out and erased any middle class in Nigeria, so that right now is a case of two extreme, the rich and the poor? There's nowhere in between, or there's nobody in between that. And unless maybe things get better, then we can begin to have a middle class, But what would you say? Does Nigeria still have an existent middle class? Yes or no? It's a debate. You can pitch your tent on any, any side and tell me basically your reasons why you feel yes, there is still a middle class based on this and that and that, and no, there isn't any middle class. It's either you're rich or you're just poor. And if you say that, why would you say so? So if you're ready for this today, let's see. I would be pitching you up against each other. It's just a debate, it's not a fight. So you can interject after you listen Okay, so you know how we always do it, right? You call in, you tell me your name, where you're calling from, and tell me what position you're taking, and then I'll pitch you up with someone, and then you tell me what position you're taking, proposing, opposing, and then we'll go at that until we take the next set and on until we draw a cutting on that. So right now, as it is, it's 16 minutes past 1. I would love to hear from you. You can send your messages in case you're unable to call. I'm trying to find a situation where we're also able to have our WhatsApp phone take conference calls so that I can take two people too on a WhatsApp call, and then you can debate. And our focus is on the middle class this afternoon. 0700 951 0000 and 080 999 30137. That's for the WhatsApp. The other number to call is 080 9597 4869. I'm on YouTube and Facebook. You can join me, drop your messages there, and let's get moving. Starting with this person or this call. Hello? Yes?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Thank you. This is Adeomi Daniel calling.
You're welcome.
Can I hold on?
What?
I think can I hold on? I should go on where I belong.
And tell me your position now, then I'll get you
As far as I'm concerned, there is nothing like middle class anymore. Where it's either you are higher or you are lower.
Okay, all right. So hold on, let me see if I'm able to get you a co-debater. All right, so Adeomi is saying there is no middle class existent in Nigeria as it is right now. It's the case of the rich versus the poor. If you want to go up against Adeomi and you feel that we have a middle class, you can just call in so that I can pitch you up against him. And okay, all right, Adeomi, just go on. I can't see anybody calling in for now, so maybe just go on until we're able to have someone else. Hello.
Good afternoon, Jonathan.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Lajide from Moses.
All right, Dr. Lajide, are you saying we have a middle class?
We have middle class. We still have.
Okay, I think Adeomi's call was lost out there. So Adeomi? Okay, Dr. Lajide, wait on. Let me get you another. Let me get you a co-debater. Right. Yeah, just hold on. All right. All right, Dr. Lajide, just go on. Pending one, we're able to pick up. Let me see. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
No. Yeah, it's not you. It's.
I can hear you, Madam Claire.
Yeah, Miss Dr. Lajide, it's not you I'm talking to. I'm trying to pick up this call.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name?
Okay, this is Stubborn One calling from area 11.
Did you say Stubborn One?
Auburn.
Okay. Auburn, what's your position on this debate?
I get it. It's either you are poor, you are...
Okay. All right. So your Dr. Olajide is your co-debater. Dr. Olajide, you start now. You make your point, and then Auburn will respond to you. Auburn, please listen, and then you get to respond. You can start, Dr. Olajide.
Thank you, Mr. Auburn. My name is Dr. Lajide. I'm in support, or I'm speaking on that we still have middle class in Nigeria.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Why do I say so? One, if you look at civil service, those that are senior cadres, their money is still better than those in junior cadres. And the businessmen and women that we have in Nigeria, most of them fall under middle class. Because if you go to all these big stores, malls, these are the people you find there buying from those malls. That tells you that we still have people that is of middle class. Then at this time of the day, with the economic hardship, if you see anybody riding car to office, buying fuel, he says it as still middle class. Because a poor man cannot even get money to buy motor, not to talk of saying what to find it. Thirdly, why do I say we have middle class? If you look at our expenses daily, the middle class are still there. We are expecting a little bit cut down, but they are still at that middle. Since those stuff they are eating, it's not what all poor men are eating. Let's be candid and be sincere to ourselves. Just like me. No matter how I say it is hard, I still see it a little bit.
Okay.
Other people will stay in my estate.
All right.
No matter why we still have middle class, even in Abuja, even in villages, we still have middle class. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Olajide. He insists we have a middle class in Abuja and all across the country. Mr. Oba, what's your response to that?
My own opinion in this life, everyone have his own opinion to express his life. Me, my own opinion that you don't have.
I don't know where you are. There is some sort of noise coming from that background. Is it you or Dr. Olajide now?
Oh, I'm inside the camp, but I really know.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my own opinion, sir. Most of these people that you say that they have money, that they have cars, they can do one or two things. That is like me. I don't think so, because if you see some of these people driving cars, some of these people having cars, you see them at the end of the day coming out from the morning from the house to work. You see some of them driving people, some of them having
Hi. No. The quality of this call is very bad. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. I can't take that. Dr. Olajide, just round up. I'm so sorry about that. But the quality is very bad. I can't take it.
Actually, I'm not really, the quality of his audio there is too poor.
Okay. You know what? Let me see if this person, another person. Hello.
Hello,
Good afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Donatus calling from Niger State.
All right, Donatus. What position are you taking?
I don't think we have middle class in the country any longer.
All right, so tell me your reasons. Mr. Olajide has already made his point. So why do you think we don't have a middle class?
Okay. The reason why we don't have middle class is immediately Mr. President announced that subsidy is gone, middle class follow the subsidy and go too. Why? Because why are we complaining? If we have the middle class, what are we complaining? I believe if we have a middle class, the middle class will be helping the poor ones. It's either you are poor or you are rich. When the price of Gary raised 1,200, everybody is shouting. If we have middle class, nobody will shout. When they are selling bag of rice, 80,000 now, everyone is shouting. If we have middle class, I believe 50% of Nigerians will not shout. You understand? A liter of fuel now is about 1,000 naira in the station. We're all shouting. If we have middle class, nobody will shout. I mean, when you increase extra fees to almost for students, we're all shouting. If you have middle class, nobody will shout. To me, I don't think we have middle class, Dr. Olajide. It's either you are poor or you are rich.
Okay, Dr. Olajide, your response now as we begin to round up on this?
Very good, Barrister Swat. Let's take it from calling on radio. Do you know how much it takes to call on radio? If you are not okay enough, you'll be able to call on radio, buy a short card, buy data to call on WhatsApp. Can person that is not be able to do that? We will continue to have meeting. I ask Barrister Swat, all these big mills and stores, who are those kind of people going there? They are the middlemen. You can never see a clear man there.
Hold on.
If you go to market, people are concerned we are shouting the bag of rice is 40,000 naira. It is still the middlemen that will be able to buy her back.
All right. Oh, just hold on. Let's take this. Hold on, sir. Hold on.
Are you in Abuja? Need quick business or personal loan? Be it contract finance, LPO finance, proof of funds, and other financial services? Worry no more. Auto Credit is the place to be. Call 081-1442-0013 or 080-94000026 or visit autocreditng.com.ng. Auto Credit, your financial partner. Auto Credit, bridging the liquidity gap.
Hi everyone, my name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
Connection established.
Now, Donatus, sorry and thank you guys for being a part of the debate. Dr. Olajide insisted we still have a middle class as it is, citing examples of how people are still able to afford basic things and stuff like that. And Donatus is saying that why are Nigerians crying? Why are they complaining? Why is it that, things are going higher and higher and people are complaining? It means we don't have a middle class because people are gradually getting to that point where they are unable to afford basics in life. Okay, so yes, that's the first set. I hope it gets clearer and clearer because that's the issue I have with some of these calls. All right, we still move. Tell me your name, tell me where you're calling from, and tell me the position you're taking. Please, if you are here to break the rules, I'll just let you go. If you tell me you don't want to debate, you just want to, I will just cut you off and take my debaters because that's what we're here for. Some of you are fond of doing that. So let's stick to the rules. Call me, tell me the position you're on. I'll get your co-debater and then I'll indicate when you should start. Let's see who's here. Hello.
Hello, Swat. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Abubakar calling from Walada.
Okay.
Middle class does not exist in Nigeria any longer.
Middle class does not exist.
Hello? You
said middle class does not exist anymore in Nigeria.
Yes.
All right, sir. Let me get you a co-debater.
Rich or poor, poorest of the poor.
All right. Let me get you a co-debater. There's somebody here. Hello?
We're in the same line. I'm in the same line with Balano. So there is me calling back. Let me
Okay.
wait for rapid.
All right. Mala Roka, are you still there? Okay, I think we two of the calls have gone off. So let me take this one. Hello?
Good afternoon, Swat.
Yes, good afternoon. You're welcome.
Yeah, Comrade Abubakar from Ghana.
Okay, Comrade Abubakar, what's your position?
There is nothing like middle class anymore.
There's nothing like middle class anymore. Let me take on this other person, hopefully. Your co-debater. Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon, Swat.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello? Hello? Good. That is not going through. Let me take someone on the WhatsApp. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Swati1. My name is Okechukwu.
Welcome, Okechukwu.
Thank you very much. I am sure that there is no rigid demarcation of classes.
What position are you taking in the debate,
Yes,
sir?
the middle class exists.
Middle class exists. All right. So, Abubakar, can you guys hear each other?
Yeah.
All right. Abubakar, go ahead. And your point starts now, then he will respond to you. Go ahead. Why do you say we don't have a middle class?
Thank you very much. And good afternoon, my co-debater. And good afternoon, Nigeria and the fans as a whole. In Nigeria as of today, a lot of things is going on, which is, if you check very well, without the rich, there is a rich and there is a poor. And this is the difference between both of them. The difference is that those who are in political class are the ones who enjoy the economic benefits and the entire situation in the country today concerning economic interest in Nigeria did not affect them because they are in the seat of power. You take, for example, you take from the National Assembly, the amount of money the National Assembly receives. And if you take the implementation and issues that affect the common man that need to be addressed, such like roads, agriculture, health, education, like
if I should make example from the state where I come from in Kogi, if you check in the number of primary and secondary schools, they are no longer engaged anymore. And if you check those people who have money, is the people who take their children to school, is people who take their children abroad and do other things. And a common man can be able to afford how to buy a common cup of rice today or common cup of garri today. How much are they selling? But a politician will have an opportunity, just like what they so-called palliatives today now, giving to them at the end of the day, then putting in storage. They don't even know what to do with it. It's spoiled, and it gets spoiled. Who you want to call a middle class today? Is it a government worker or a businessman? A government worker who are receiving 30,000 and not sufficiently, there is a placement of increase to the 70,000 naira, which is implementation up to now, is still on the pending, which is, we didn't even have a way to even say this is where we are heading to and this is where we are coming from. And the stand of economy today, even though it happened, the implementation of that 70,000 has been put in place. Believe me, a bag of rice, how much are they selling in the market today? A common man can buy car today that he can be able to fuel with a 1,000 naira per liter. From like Gwagwalada where I live to inside Jerry now, can you take a 10 liter which is worth of 10,000 naira and you have family to feed?
All right, Abubakar, begin to round up.
If it happen to be there.
Round up.
Okay.
All right.
So these are the things we are talking about. So you can't call a government worker a middle class, you can't call a businessman a middle class, and you cannot call a poor man a middle class.
All right.
It's different, and there's a big space in between it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Okechukwu?
Yes, I'm here. I've heard Abubakar loud and clear.
All right.
He seems to have based his argument on a single indicator, purchasing power. But classes are demarcated along their socio-economic status. The middle class are those who hold the economy. They're little business owners, house owners, car owners, and you can't say that they no longer exist. The idea, what is noticeably happening is that there is upper middle class that is now gravitating towards the upper class to join the rich upper class. And there is a lower middle class that is also affected and moving towards the lower class. So this is what makes people think that the middle class is vanishing. It's not vanishing. It's always there. It's the balancer between the upper class and the lower class. And what is happening is that whatever has happened has affected everyone. The upper class is affected, the middle class is affected, the lower class is affected. But because the middle class is the bridge, it is often the one that is most impacted. So as far as I'm concerned, the middle class is always there in every society and will always be. The Nigerian middle class is no exception. The push and pull of the economy has impacted them. But what we have found as a reality is that those of them who are still holding the balance are so fluid. They are responding to the ebb, the push and pull. Those who can survive are fast moving to the upper class, acquiring things, acquiring more wealth, acquiring more assets. And those who are unable to are disposing of what they have. And that is tending towards popularizing them or making them act like they are now becoming poor. They are not indeed.
All right.
When the economy, you see them bounce back.
Okay.
So they are the bridge. They will always be there. Thank you.
All right. So you heard that, Abubakar. It's time for you guys. You can interject each other. Just a minute. Let's hear your rounding up points. Abubakar?
I didn't believe what he said, because the reason why I didn't believe what he said, if he said that a businessman, the middle class, in between the rich and the poor, I didn't believe that. Because if you get to check today, there is no difference between the farmers and the business owners today. Because if you check the high rate of goods and services in the country today, it has gone higher that you cannot be able to say if it is not a politician who have access to funds directly from the government and manipulate it to a personal use and convert it in a business and other ways around, that they can be able to spend money and do whatever they want to do. Today, you check within the environment, no one will even agree that a student normal that can be able to have a stand that can be able to assist another person. Is it the kind of stand you call a middle class? There's nothing like a middle class today.
Oh, okay.
There's between the rich and the poor, and the rich are the politicians, not even the government workers, not even the businessmen. Because the businessmen today, most of business collapse because of the poor nature of economic and the policy implemented by our politicians being in position as a leader today.
All right.
That's why I use an example of a National Assembly for you. The kind of function to them and the rest of other. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Okechukwu.
Yes, thank you so much. And Abubakar, you've made a point. But let me say pointedly that without the middle class, no society will exist. That's the fact.
All right.
So don't use a single factor indicator of purchasing power, the value of Naira. Don't forget the devaluation affected everyone. So if you use that single indicator, you miss the point. The middle class hold the economy, the medium, small-scale investors, the market men, women, the public servants, the small business owners, car owners are in the middle class, not in the price. So you cannot say that they've disappeared. They're there. We see them every day. They manage, they adjust. In fact, it's the class that adjusts easily. And they have adjusted.
All right.
You used to take 3 square meals daily. You cut it down to 2 as a form of adjustment. It doesn't make you poor. It doesn't make you poorer. Those 2 meals you are taking may even be more than those taking 3 or 4. So what I think has happened is that the middle class has adjusted to the reality.
All right. Thank you so much to Mr. Okechukwu, and thank you to Abubakar. Appreciate you guys. That was a brilliant one. Appreciate that. Now, that's what I'm talking about. I want debaters who marshal out their points nicely. The UN actually categorized the middle class as those who earn, I think, from between $10 to about $100. And Mr. Okechukwu further, threw in light into that. We have middle class, as he insists, the traders, the people who are somewhere in between, who are still able to buy, food and able to eat at least quality meals, own their cars, and so on and so forth. But hey, let's take on another set. Let's know, what do you think? Does the middle class still exist in Nigeria, or you think they've gone extinct and it's just an extreme of the rich and the poor? Okay, so I understand people on WhatsApp can hear the phone call, and phone call can also hear the WhatsApp. If not, get a device, try to monitor if you want to debate, so that I can pick you up and have you guys pitch against each other. Hello.
Hello, Swat.
Good afternoon. Welcome, sir.
I on the position that middle class doesn't exist in Nigeria.
All right, middle class does not exist. Let me see who your co-debater could most probably be. Hello.
Hello, Swat.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Waldemar calling.
Okay.
Yeah, let me affirm the position of Abubakar that there is no middle class in Nigeria.
All right, so that means you cannot debate with him. I'm looking for a co-debater for Bakar. Maybe you call back. Let me take a WhatsApp call. Hello? 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 Okay, you're not answering. Hello?
Hello, yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Mr. Omotayo, that's you, right?
Yes, my name is Omotayo. I actually want to pick the side that says that there are still middle class in Nigeria.
All right, great. So, Mr. Abubakar, Omotayo is your co-debater. Tell us why you say there is no middle class. Omotayo, listen to him, and then you get to respond to him after some time. All right. Malam Abubakar, your time starts now.
Permit me to one of the shining star of identity exalt Benedicta. He has a great picture. I take credit for it.
Yeah.
There's no way we can say middle class exists in Nigeria, where the level of poverty, the poverty level has destroyed many of the businesses. even the manufacturers, the business owner are carrying out transactions at a loss. The naira is weak. It has sent many people to labor market. We have millions of more Nigerians who are unemployed. So many breadwinners have lost their purchasing power. The economy is pushing many countries out of Nigeria. You know the implication of this. And one of the salary earners, whether civil servants, pay workers, can they survive if they lose their job and sustain their lifestyle for 6 months? I have known, due to recent economic indices, I have known people who daily fly from Guagulada to the city center. But today, some of them, daily before, they used to go to the city center daily. But today, they are spending 2 weeks because of the high cost of transportation. There are many negative indices. Which even middle class exist, they are insignificant. Either we are having super rich. They are either super rich, who enjoy a luxurious lifestyle. Maybe you are a politician who enjoy allocation, or you must appropriate funds to survive. But the really vulnerable population of the society, who find it very difficult. Some people live in abject poverty. They dwell in hunger. They will have how many millions of out-of-school students do we have at present? We have many issues. Let him respond.
All right. Mr. Omotayo, you heard Mr. Abubakar. Let's hear your response.
Yes, I greet you, Malam Abubakar from Gogolada. Yes, you said something that the middle class are no more significant. And I want to make you understand that before this incident today that brought Nigeria as a country to its knees, there were some people who were classified initially as part of the rich. They were the people whom were the middle men between the rich and the poor. Those who facilitated business between the rich, reaching out to the poor at the same time. So they were in between. In fact, somehow they were closer to the rich than even the poor. And then when the economy broke down and began to nosedive during the period of the last, what's it called?
Administration?
Last tenure, last administration, exactly. These people began to shift from the angle of being closer to the rich and drawing more closer to the poor, because the economy began to nosedive, and then what they used to have as billions of naira began to change into millions of naira because of the depreciation of the value of the naira. So they began to move from the curve of being closer to the rich and coming down to the poor. So these people somehow, if they had their currencies in dollars as at that time, well, the currencies has actually appreciated in such a way that it kept them in that same middle class and not closer to the rich anymore like before. And if they had their currencies in naira, then they have actually shifted down closer to the poor and still make them the middlemen. That is why if you call for fundraising today or bazaar or something, maybe you want to auction something, you will still see these people who will buy it. Okay, I want to ask a very, very good question. Don't you still see people drive Jeep around your areas? How much do you think will fill the tank of a Jeep? But these people are not the rich. They are indeed the middle class because they are not equally the poor. So, but they can afford fuel for their Jeep every now and then, and they live around you. You will agree with me that the rich don't live around the poor. Somehow, they stay away from the poor, either in estates or highbrow areas. If you still find those ones that are still around the poor, they are not the rich because they don't have a choice at that point in time of changing their location. So they are classified as the middle class.
Okay.
So you can't tell me or rule out that fact completely that There's no middle class. Thank you.
All right, Malam Abubakar, respond your last response before we round up.
For my own part, I still stand on my positions. I have some friends who business in land and property. We have more people offering their properties, landed properties for sale, and the business is flourishing. And how many Nigerians now can afford health care services, can afford good education for their children? A lot of people are now poorer than in about some years ago. People who can afford to own vehicles are now grounded. Some of their vehicles. So we have a lot of people who have shifted from middle class to zero level. That is abject poverty level.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Omotayo, any final words quickly before we go?
Yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, my co-debater. But don't forget that as much as the economy has shifted to this point where most people have lost their means of livelihood, there are still some people who are still those doing imports businesses today. There are still some people who own 3, 4, 5 shops in markets today. These people are actually not the rich. The rich actually will own industries and companies.
You are talking of super rich. You are not talking of middle class. If you declare Dangote as the richest African, richest Africa.
That is what I just said. Dangote own a factory and not a small shop, not a little business.
Nigeria, richest Africa. But millions of Nigeria, they go to bed hungry. How do you correlate that? So I don't believe. Yeah, we have poorer Nigeria.
Abubakar, if you go to Dangote's house today,
go ahead. You can interject. Don't worry. Feel free.
Yes, if you go to Dangote's house today, it is diesel engines that are operating and powering his house. But if you check the middleman, it's probably maybe just a medium solar and one of those fuel engines. That is what we are saying. You see light in their houses every night.
All right.
But they are not actually the rich like Dangote and others. Thank you very much.
All right, Omotayo Abubakar, I had a great one listening to you. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Don't worry, when I give you a chance to address your point at first, the co-debater responds. Then at the last instance, you can interject. If you don't agree, you can just interject each other and as we round up. Right? So thank you so much for trying to be very civil, but you can be a bit uncivil, if you know what I'm saying, towards the ending and just make it a bit spicy. Right. It's the great debate this afternoon. And the question is, do we still have an existing middle class in Nigeria now? Do we still have that? Don't forget, there are indices here and there, but I just want to hear from the perspective of the ordinary Nigerian. Is there a middle class that's still existent? Let's take on this caller. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Chris. I'm calling from Area 11.
Okay, what's your position, Mr. Chris?
Honestly speaking, there is no middle class in Nigeria. I had wanted to call since, but I have not been able to get through.
All right, you're through now, so just hold on. Let me get to your co-debater. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, what's your name?
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Good afternoon. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. My name is Akpabio.
Akpabio.
I'm calling from Akpabio.
Okay, Akpabio. Chris is saying there is no middle class. What are you saying?
All right, Chris. I want to submit to you that there's middle class in Nigeria.
All right, so let Mr. Chris start, then you can respond to him. So you can just listen to him, and afterwards you can respond. Mr. Chris, your time starts now. Let's hear you. Why do you think there is no middle class?
Okay, thank you very much. But first and foremost, let me clarify here that I may be coming from a different perspective. See, first, the Bible says that the blessings of the Lord, He make it rich and added no sorrow. So this we should be able to differentiate between being rich and being wealthy. Okay? And here in Nigeria, because we are discussing Nigeria, because oftentimes people talk about
middle class, the meaning of middle class, that is where you have all those people with social amenities. You see the rich here, and then the people they call the middle class, they are because the social amenities, they are all there for them. They don't provide security for themselves. They don't provide water for themselves. They don't provide electricity for themselves. Government do all those things. This is where you go to middle class. But here in Nigeria, my dear, you provide everything for yourself. Do you understand? But when you are doing this thing for yourself, my brother, you are not a rich person. You're not a rich person. Okay? So there's nothing like, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing like this. What they call middle class, in my language, that's what we call meaning one-eye man. One-eye man, or having one eye is an indebtedness to blindness. If anything happens to the other eye, you will totally go blind. That is
all right, so I will use the same point to go against your point. You're contradicting yourself because now, are you going to compare a man with two eyes, one eye, and no eyes at all? So they're all in different strata. They're all in different classes. So we can't just say that they're saying middle class because to me in Nigeria, there are more middle class is. People, they talking of people in middle class.
Okay, let Mr. Chris land. Let him land. Mr. Akpabio, let him land. Then you can just take it up from there. Chris, begin to round up so that he will respond to you.
Yes. So what is either you are rich rather, or you are a poor man. But as long as Nigerians keep crying for electricity, keep crying for education, keep crying for water supply, keep crying for insecurity, for everything here, like those who are crying here, they are not rich.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chris. Let him respond to you. Let your co-debater respond to you now. Go ahead.
All right, so the reason why a lot of people think everybody is either they are poor or they are rich and there's no middle class because everybody cry out. When there's issues in the society, everybody seems to be talking, complaining. But I can bet you go to supermarket, go to everywhere, these same people complaining on air or come out to the social media to complain. They have the resources to live the way they want to live, normally without much stress. Only sometimes the noise you hear in the society is because people are actually not complaining for themselves per se, but they actually try to complain so that the people at the bottom of the pyramid will not increase, so that there will be no much increase at the bottom of the pyramid. But the truth is that a lot of people, when we say there's middle class, people think we have to define exactly the way U.S. has defined its own or some other country. No, we can also, it's a structure, it's a stratification. We can decide, okay, the people in middle class, there's people who aim to choose social amount, and the people in top class who aim to choose social amount. So, but we have them so that we can't say there's no middle class because the definition of middle class is not about the acronym, it's not about the terminology or the nomenclature of the word itself. The strength of or the definition of that word doesn't really come out from the strength of the word itself. Or the nomenclature of that word. It's about what we define it to be. And when we define it, are you saying we all aim the same thing? Are you saying if you prove 100 people, they all aim the same thing? No. We clarify that you that is in between here and here. This is where you belong. A lot of people still live comfortable. Forget about the fact that all these hikes, a lot of people I can tell you that even call online, crying that everything is incredible. I can tell you they still have enough resources to live comfortably. They are not crying for themselves. They are crying for the society that, yes, the variance is getting wider. And this is also what will drop down below the middle class because as the whole pressure increase, it's likely going to go down below, fall into the down class, the low class. Yeah, so when the pressure is on the middle class man, he feels his ambition was to go up.
All right, let's quickly take this break. Let's just take this less than 1 minute break and then come back.
More talk, news and sports after this.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.